So, season 3 launch. Happy days. We're still here. Welcome everyone everywhere to the Elite Thinking Club. I'm Chris Jules Julian, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts Michael and Liz. How you doing, guys?
Hi.
Very good.
Yeah, really good. Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, amazing. We're season 3.
Yeah, I know. It is it's crazy. Like we've got over 40 episodes on the YouTube now. And
That's crazy.
it is. And we've reached over 200 subscribers, which is great. Really, really great news. So people are watching and we're getting more consistent views as we go, which is awesome. And what I thought would be great for tonight's episode is if we kind of just highlight some of our best topics of discussions from all episodes that we've done and just have a little chat about them and whether we still think the way we did before or if our views have changed, because in life, you know, your values and views always change. And also for viewers maybe literally just starting to watch us now and haven't really watched the previous episodes, they might hear the topic of discussion and be like, oh my God, I want to hear about that. So do go back and watch some of our old episodes. But before we do that, like I always say before every episode, you cannot change anything unless you're willing to understand it, and you cannot understand it unless you're willing to explore it. A good debate doesn't get ugly. We may talk of things that make people feel vulnerable, beliefs held sacred, may be challenged because of life experiences, but we're not trying to make people wrong or to incite riot, but simply explore. So welcome to the Elite Thinking Club. And if you haven't done so already, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share our videos if you believe that others will like them too. And also, you can purchase some fan merchandise by clicking the link in the description. Yeah, as you see, Michael wearing the Elite Thinking Club hoodie there, lovely. And also for season 3, Michael's decided to do his hair. Love it, mate.
I think it's brilliant. I have to say,
too.
I find it amazing, actually, Michael, that you've kept that white.
The hoodie?
Yeah, like it is sparkling white and you've managed to keep it white. I always worry about getting white clothing. So good for you.
A bit of a confession, I've never actually washed it. Because I only wear it for the podcast. As soon as the podcast is over, it literally just gets hung back up and then left.
Yeah, for real. That's the beauty of a hoodie as well. Sometimes you can live in hoodies. Like, I don't know, like why it happens. It just sort of happens. It takes me a while before I wash a hoodie. I have them hanging on my door, and some days I'm just like fancy.
Tell you in your room.
The over extra large hoodies, and then the tight ones for the gym. But gym ones get washed a bit more consistently. But the overhanging one, it's more like a dressing gown. But yeah, okay, if you want to get one of our hoodies, you can click the link and get one of our hoodies.
Yeah, this is version 1. Version 2 is much better.
I love that. Mads can't be with us tonight, guys, because something's happening with her at the moment. She just couldn't make it. But you know, she's also here now. Right, when we first started the Elite Thinking Club, Liz, you were there from day one. Michael, you joined as a special guest like midway through season 2, I think. And and we've all just like, it's become what it's become. But we were talking about some way out there things at the start. I created it because I've got a lot of passion for the conspiracy side of life. Lived through too much, things that have made me question everything. And I always said to myself, surely there's other people out there like me who think the same way, or at least have thought to some degree something's just not quite right. Now, after really doing the Elite Thinking Club, I've realized that I'm not so much a conspiracist. I'm more of a truth seeker. You know, if that buzzword rings true to you as well, if that resonates with you, I'm such a truth seeker. I just seek truth. I'm like, I need to know, or I would like to know, I want to know the truth. Just tell me the truth. So anyway, like I said, if you haven't done so already, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and tune in for future videos. And if you do have anything that you want to add to what we're talking about tonight, then please do write in the comments, because we definitely want to hear what you have to say. So
yes, we do. And I'm on the comments, so if you say anything, I'll be there.
Love it.
Waiting for you.
I remember when you first started this, Jules, and I remember just thinking, yes, we just need this in the world. And I remember I was so excited about it, and relieved as well, I think, that it's going to be in my life. So yeah,
Exactly.
it's been a journey. It's been good. It's been good. And I've learned a lot as well. I've learned a lot from all of the different people that we've had on here, like in season 1 and season 2, and just, you know, the differing views and opinions and subjects we spoke about and the topics. It's just, yeah, it's been enlightening, definitely.
I love that. I think we should start getting special guests on. Should we get like people on who have, like, I don't know, some sort of like passion for something that we can then explore with them?
Yes.
You know? That might be like the direction it could be heading, because obviously it's still relatively young. So we're just going with what we go with now. And I feel like we can be more laid back as well. Like we're so, we can just, it's just is what it is. This is who we are. We you know.
Yeah. So if you want to be a special guest, message us, PM us.
Yeah.
Buy some merch. I mean, what?
Exactly. Or at the very least, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Right.
Yeah.
One of the episodes we've done before, which we actually was some of the very first episodes were conspiracy based, and one of them that really like we set off with was the moon landings one. So what was it, back in 1966 or 69, or I forget which year exactly, but apparently the United States were the first to land on the moon, and this was broadcasted on black and white televisions, on the radio stations. Basically, the world stood still and believed that we went to the moon. In that episode, there was myself, Liz, Chris from Chicken's Chat, and Lucas. And you know, we had this conversation, and all of us I asked, like, do you guys think it is? So I'm just gonna throw it out there for all the viewers. But Liz and Michael, do you guys what do you think?
After we actually did that episode, I went and did some delving and looked into it a little bit further, and I am even more so now convinced. And I feel like I know that, yeah, that was all made up. And I think it was actually a big psychological operation to see if they could program it through, obviously, the TVs and see how many people would actually believe it. And I think it was all part of an operation to see how many people were like, oh my God, yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely even more so than I was on the episode.
Have you got any proof that it never happened?
I don't have any proof that it did happen, and I don't have any proof that I don't. So
I've got proof that it did. So
okay.
So any evidence you've got that backs up the fact that it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you looked into it.
There's lots online.
Well, you can write anything online. So
true.
What have you seen that makes you believe it didn't happen?
Okay, so I read a book by a guy called Andy Thomas called The Truth Agenda, and it's no longer with me. I gave it to a friend. She's reading it, but it took me about, over the course of about 6 years to read. And because this guy literally talks about so many conspiracies over time, things like crop cycles, the pyramids, Stonehenge, 9/11, talks about the moon landings. He goes in on all these conspiracies, Princess Diana. So it took me a while to read this book. So one of the things was the moon landings, and what he does in the book, he doesn't actually say this is fact, this is actually what happened, this isn't. He just puts together all the pieces that make you sum up yourself what you believe. So after seeing all the stuff that he presented, things like, you know, the flag shouldn't be flying on a zero gravity planet, and you know, why is there only one picture taken? If you go to a place, you would take more than one picture. Why would you just take one picture? And
let me write this down so I can argue.
Yeah, you can argue with him, but he isn't saying that, you know, they definitely didn't do it. But the way he's worded the book, it presents everything that you're asking for, Michael, like evidence that it didn't happen, or the evidence they have shown there's questions as to why they've only shown that. But if you haven't done so already, you should definitely watch the episode. I'll put it in the link in the description. Watch the full episode of the moon landings, and then you can tell us what you think. But Michael,
Yeah.
go on. What are you saying?
Well, so a big question, why I first looked into it, is actually why would they fake it? You do, if you were to fake it, you know, it would have cost them less money to actually go than to actually fake it. And they would have needed technology that they've never had back in the day, like CGI. You would have had a CGI in order to do it, because that light, you know, the picture that you're on about, which they actually do have more pictures and videos. When you look at the picture, the light coming in is parallel, which you can't do with lighting, actual lighting. The only way to do it is to have red lasers, which cost so much money, and you'd have to have them so close to each other. It'd be like a TV, like the pixels on a TV. So that's one thing, money. It would cost so much money. So they wouldn't have been able to do it with actual cameras, so they've had to have CGI'd it. We never had that technology back then to do it. Also, there's a mirror on the moon now that if you have a laser, you can point it at the moon and it will reflect back at you.
Yeah, now, yeah.
Yeah, they put it up there in 1969.
Okay, you say so. I mean, Michael, the fact of the matter is you said that they didn't have the technology back then to do things they can do now. And that, again, is another argument as to why they didn't go, because they're trying to say that they could, or they had all the technology to do so, yet we didn't even have like mobile phones back then.
A rocket's a little bit different to a mobile phone.
Yeah.
Also, so how many countries is there? And no country, no actual government has come out and said that is not true. The fact that America was racing with Russia, do you think Russia would have gone, no, yeah, we agree that they did it? They wouldn't, would they?
It's out there for others to explore. And Michael, you know us, we always value each other. We're not going to get into our butting heads about it. But guys, we would definitely like to know what you think. Do you think that we flew to the moon back in like 1969? If you haven't done so already, watch that episode, get a full view of everything we said, and then obviously do your own research and then just comment. Let us know what you think. And if you're watching right now, let us know what you think. Like,
I personally don't believe that we did. That's my personal view on it. I don't believe.
I'm just asking you what makes you think that we didn't.
I just feel like it was set up, and similar to what Jules said with regards to the flag, and just various articles and things that I've read, and parts of books and things that have other people have stated their reasons for believing that it wasn't true. Yeah, and just breaking it down. I
wasn't born back then, so I didn't witness what they had back then, which was the only form of like entertainment, which was black and white television and obviously radio waves. You know, the funny thing about like radio waves and black and white television is when you're broadcasting it to a nation who don't know no better, you could just pre-record stuff and then pretend it's live. And the thing about radio, like if you're commentating on a football match that, you know, the person listening isn't there, they're trusting the word of the commentator. If the commentator screams and cheers, yeah, it's a goal, they don't know, but they'll just believe his word. So this is
other nations picked up individually to the broadcast.
What I'm struggling to understand, Michael, and God's honest truth, mate, is that if we were so advanced back then, why is it this day and age it isn't a theme park ride? Why can't people pay to go to the moon like an excursion? I don't understand.
We're paying to go out of space at the moment. I think it's today or yesterday, a couple of days ago.
At the time of
Jeff Bezos literally has just done the space flight.
I understand. I get you, mate. But at the time of the recording of the episode, that wasn't a thing. And it's still 2021. This happened over 40 years ago. So it's just really difficult to believe something that happened back then, especially with everything else that's happened in my lifetime. Like, talking about, you know, the cover up of all the like the pedo rings in the ruling elites, and the death of Princess Diana and 9/11 especially, which I'm actually going to roll onto. So we also did an episode on 9/11 and was it an inside job? We want to definitely know what you think about that, the viewers. You know, it is a very, very sensitive subject, and I you know, just want to highlight again the disclaimer I said at the start of the episode. Beliefs held sacred may be challenged, right? Do you believe that the US government flew planes into their own buildings as to gain public favor for the war on terror in Afghanistan? Was it a ploy?
We've had a
also,
comment, by the way.
Yep, I love the comments. And put a face to terror, Osama bin Laden, who was an Oxford or Cambridge
scholar.
You know, he's friends with a lot of people. Why would this guy become the face of the enemy? I just, you know, the public hated a person they'd never met. The power of propaganda, like, you've never met this guy, you don't even know this guy really exists. He could be, I mean, have you seen Iron Man, or is it, I forget which one, Civil War, I'm not sure, but there's one of the Marvel movies when there's a puppet called the Mandarin who's posing as
that is brilliant. Yeah,
he's posing as a terrorist, but he's just an actor.
Yeah,
and it does like make you think about the whole 9/11 thing. I mean, definitely want to know what you guys think, and definitely what the viewers think. But if you haven't done so, watch that episode. Let us know.
I loved that episode, and I do think that it was an inside job. Yeah.
Now, comment before we go forward to another topic. So Paul Halfpenny has said, "I'd rather believe they did it than didn't. I'm older enough to have watched it live." So this is about the moon. It's a bit like believing in God. There is no proof, but we are better believing it happened.
I see, and we value all views. Thank you, Paul. I really appreciate you watching the episode live as well.
I think you watched the moon landing live.
Not this episode, what we're recording right now.
No, he's watching now. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he watched the moon landing live. That's what he said. He watched that live.
Love that as well. Again, that's another reason why people are so, you know, their deep-seated conviction. They don't, you know, you want to believe what you saw. Seeing is believing more than not believe. You don't want to believe you've been lied to. Hence why 9/11, a lot of people witnessed that. And you want to believe what you want to believe. But that's why I'm now saying, and we've said, like, Liz, go ahead. What were you saying? Like, you love that episode.
For a long time, I wanted to believe that it was what we were led to believe, and that it was, you know, based on ideology and, you know, terrorists, and that the planes were flown into the building. But I think there's a lot of people, and there's been a lot sort of dug deep into this 9/11, and you know, with regards to the structures of the building, how they were built, just so many documentaries, so many you know, eyewitnesses and people that were involved and that experienced it and went through it on the day. I don't believe what we were led to believe. No.
And it is troubling, because some people will lose sleep over this.
It's hard, because I wanted to believe it, because it would be a much easier way of dealing with the fact that such an eventful thing happening in our history, in our lifetime.
Yeah.
It's so easy to accept that it was done that way, but to believe it was actually done via our governments and, you know, an inside job, and reveal the corruption
and the fact that they found the terrorist in a cave. Like, come on, like, really? What would he be doing in a cave? Like, man had a family and kids, and you'd be in a secure bunker, at least, like in a safe or something. You would definitely.
Do you believe that they actually caught him and got him?
I don't.
I believe they caught him. I don't know if they killed him.
Right.
This
Right.
is what I mean. Like,
Yeah. If you haven't done so already, watch the episode. I'll put it in the link in the description.
how
And-
do we know what is
This
real?
is it. This is exactly it. And again, if you're literally just watching us for the first time, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, or if you're just watching again, just hit the like, hit the subscribe. It really helps support us as a podcast and a channel. So
We've got another comment
Go
on that one. So Paul Halfpenny again. Said, absolutely not. Again, I watched the Twin Towers come down live as I was working in my way home office. Why on earth would a government bring down towers on purpose when it would have been so much less destructive to do something far much easier to have fought against the aggressor?
Yeah, and I don't want to answer like I know all the answers, but I would say that people are more motivated by fear than anything else. And when you like, you're same with like Pearl Harbor, these are like orchestrated things that push for public backing. It's a lot easier for the government to get backing from the people when the people are in fear and have someone to blame. So hence the whole setup is just a bit much. And this is like, you know, we now live in a day and age where a lot of people are coming from all different angles of life, and that's why the spectrum is so huge, and that's why we explore, because we're not here to make people right or wrong. We're not here to tell you, no, you're completely bizarre, because your reality is your reality. We're so accepting of people's realities, and that's why we've got over 40 episodes of so much stuff, because it's happening in this day and age. Things are happening, which then brings me on to another episode we done, guys. And Michael, I think you was on this one about Dicyanin Dye. Do you remember this episode?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So, guys, if you haven't done so already, watch this episode on Dicyanin Dye, Flat Earth, and there was something else in the episode as well. But I stumbled across Dicyanin Dye one day, and I just never heard of it in my life. I was like, what is this thing? And from what I could gather, which by the way is very minimal information on the internet, you try and Google this stuff, it is like it's being wiped out, like it's not allowed to be spoke about, yet so many people do know about it. So what it is a dye that when you put between two panes of glass and look through the glass, it gives you the ability to see another spectrum of light that highlights people's auras. So our bodies emit auras, but we can't see them with our eyes because our eyes can only pick up white light from the sun and electric lights. But you do know there's other spectrums of light like infrared, ultraviolet, and that. So yeah, Dicyanin Dye gives us the ability to see people's auras. Now, the issue is it was banned, I think very recently in like 1980s, it was banned by the US government. It is illegal. Anyone caught creating this stuff, prison immediately.
Mad.
And that just makes you question
why? Yeah. I enjoyed that episode. I did enjoy looking into that as well. Yeah.
That was very interesting. Do we need to sleep?
Oh yeah, sleep patterns, yes. But yeah, Dicyanin Dye. So it's spelled Dicyanin, dye, DYE. Look it up for yourself and try and get as much information about it as you can. Like, definitely want to know what you find. If you find anything that we haven't found, post it to us. Like, get it to us.
Funny, isn't it? All these things that like kind of that get banned, or the government are like, that's illegal, or you know, they just shut it away in a big safe somewhere in the FBI or CIA, and it's just like, no, you're not allowed to think about that, you're not allowed to talk about that, you're not allowed to find any information about that. It just makes your mind think even more so, well, there's a reason for that, and there's a reason why, and it makes you want to dig a little deeper, and it makes you want to talk about it and look into it and learn about it.
Yeah. And it's the same with like the diamond conspiracy, like, you know, how people are saying that the diamond industry is conspiracy because, you know, there is loads of diamonds. Diamonds aren't rare, but they obviously have figured out a way to make them rare and make them a girl's best friend. So the industry is playing with industries to market and to boom business. But, you know, Dicyanin Dye, you give people the ability to see people's auras, and all of a sudden we've got a change in the game. We've got politicians never getting elected because we can literally see
their bad aura.
Yeah, we can just tell. Like, doesn't matter what you say, mate. Like,
You are not getting in.
But in that same episode, we also spoke about, which again is people's belief systems, the flat Earth conspiracy. Now, this is actually what
this
Michael
got me.
to the Elite Thinking Club.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
you know, he was like, Jules, I just cannot agree with you on the flat Earth conspiracy. And I'm saying, right, no shame in saying it, I believe the flat Earth conspiracy more than the globe conspiracy or the globe presentation. I've been presented with both, and I'm more swaying towards the flat Earth stuff, but also I'm understanding that there is people out there who have belief systems built on that we are a globe. So just to highlight, what I do believe is that we are a globe. We do have an atmosphere, but it isn't like what people think, where we're all upside down, like we're here and Australia's down there. That's not what it is at all. Imagine a ball sliced in half, like a bowling ball sliced in half. We're on that flat surface. So there is Earth beneath us, but there's an atmosphere above us, like a bubble. And we're all on the flat surface, and the flat surface rotates that way. That's what I'm in belief of.
Let me ask you some questions on that then. So have you ever seen a solar eclipse?
A what?
Yes.
Sorry?
A solar eclipse. So that's basically when the sun is between the Earth and the moon.
No, the moon.
So our shadow is on the moon, basically. Yeah. So, but any time that it's shown on it, it's not anything other than around it, is it?
Right.
And that can only happen if we're on a globe. But so, what proofs do you? Yeah, actually, what I was going to ask you is: so, do you believe that other planets are around, or are they that weird flat thing as well?
Yeah, I mean, I believe globes exist. I just explained my theory on our globe.
Yeah, but we've seen other planets in telescopes.
Well, you say we've seen. We are being told. Yeah.
So you never used a telescope before?
Yeah, I've used telescopes before, but I've never seen myself, Michael, these planets. Of course not. Here's another conspiracy. Here's another conspiracy for you. Apparently, the stars in the sky. Imagine if the stars in the sky were just air holes pierced in the roof for us to breathe. So like a giant kid with a container of ants pierces the top of the lid to let them breathe.
I love when it always comes back to the kid with the ants.
That's a conspiracy for you. But yeah, if you haven't done so already, you can watch that episode. It's the life after death, the Dicyanin Dye, and the sleep patterns, and let us know what you think on that. I mean, that's Michael's first episode when he came in as a guest to actually talk about it and debunk the flat Earth conspiracies, because it is definitely people's alternate view of reality that is so beautiful, and it allows people to challenge their belief systems. Because imagine if you do carry on your life believing that the Earth is flat, but then someone actually presents you with hard, solidified fact that it's not. It does help you grow as an individual. However,
it is so difficult. It's so difficult to try and prove it to someone that doesn't want to change their mind. Like literally, so
I agree with that.
Do you think that other planets are around like a globe, or do you think that they're the same shape as us in your head?
In my mind, I believe that I don't believe it too tough, Michael. No, I'm the type of person that needs to see it myself before I believe it.
Same
it
here.
Has to be
and I think we've been told. I just don't think it's possible that every single thing we've been fed and told about every single thing in the world is 100% the truth. And
of course it's not.
And
if you go outside with a telescope,
I do think as well there are elements, of control where it's not possible for us to just get in our car and drive to the moon and drive to another planet to check for ourselves or see for ourselves. So there's things that are out of our control of knowing. So, and I think that could be used against us.
Michael,
by those who are more powerful. So
and
yeah.
Michael and Liz, I'll tell you the truth. You know, the map of the world, the global map of the world, it's upside down. And that is purposely done that way to make Europeans feel superior to people of color, because you're above us on the map. If you look at the map, the world map, it is put that way specifically to make it look like European countries are above people of color. Turn that upside down. If you was raised your whole life with the map the right way up, which is upside down, you will then see it for what it actually is. But it's purposely,
but that wouldn't change anything.
Michael, subconsciously it does. If you go to America, they teach their children in America that America is the center of the map and every other country is around it. World maps, this is what I'm talking about, perception and views. If you
perception, we are GMT 0, so that doesn't work. They make their time from our time.
Michael, the times don't need to change because they're still linear, like vertical. But if you turn the map upside down, you'll just see it as a different perspective. But it was purposely made that way. Now, what I'm getting at here is to back you and to back Liz, that when you're presented with information, if you don't question that information or even try and see it from an alternate view, you will always believe it to be true. And that's the only reason I won't fully believe that we live on a globe, but then also won't fully dismiss the idea we live on a flat earth.
So, like I keep asking, which doesn't get answered. Yeah. So if you see other planets, let's pretend that you've got a telescope now and you go outside and you look at other planets and they look round to you. Would you then believe that we are on a round globe planet?
Because of what I've seen on other planets.
Yeah. The fact that there's 11 other planets that are 8 other planets that are round,
and you've seen these planets, round. Michael. You've seen these planets.
I've used the telescope and looked at the moon. I've looked at Venus. I've looked at Mars on a telescope at my house, and I've seen that they're round. So how is 8 or 9 other objects round, but the one we live on isn't? We're not that special.
I'm not saying that the one we live on isn't. I explained to you my belief of the globe that we live on. I do believe it is a globe, like a sphere, Michael, but it's cut in half like a bowling ball. So we do have Earth, mate.
Like we're inside it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you'd see that when you look at another planet, which you don't see.
But would you?
Exactly.
Would you see that?
Exactly
would
my
you
point.
see
Just
that?
Just like the world map, you will be presented with
You'll see the circle, you'll see the globe, but would you actually see that?
You'd see it as 3D.
Okay, look, if you haven't done so already and you like how we're getting into this conversation, you need to watch that episode on Dicyanin Dye. Do you know what? Season 3, we're going to do it again. We're going to do another brand new episode on that, but we've got to move on to another one. But
we've got more comments. Hang on.
Okay.
All pulled is so likewise, a guy built on an engine that ran on water and oil trillionaires assassinated. And then he said, I think that's, if you've seen planets. I've also seen leaves fall like rain. And then he said, I think everyone who thinks we live on a flat earth is really taking a piss. Then he said, the map is completely incorrect. Each continent is the wrong size.
Right. So it's just information presented that can truly shape a nation's thinking, especially if they believe it without questioning. And again, sometimes we have to kind of take it as what it is because we haven't done the research ourselves. We don't have a telescope or haven't visited those planets to actually confirm they are what they are. But if you haven't done so already, watch the episode. You'll definitely love it. And hit the like and the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. So season 2, well, this is season 3, but looking back on season 2, do you remember the episode we done on gender equality? This got real popular because
yes, I do.
Yeah, it's a topic of discussion that is always there, like women with their feminists movement and men with their masculinist movements, and it's just always there. But what we specifically spoke about was sports, because just before we done the episode, quite recent to it, there was a horrible UFC fight between a transgender and a non-transgender female. and the non-transgender female got her ass kicked. I mean, destroyed. And it was just a bit like, when are we going to toe the line here? When is someone actually going to stand up and say it's wrong? There is no, it's not equality that you're screaming here. This is a bloke
beating,
just smashing the shit out of a woman. So,
and I think we've got to a point in the world and society where we have got to set some boundaries, you know, because that is, it's going to go too far the other way again, you know, with regards to not just sport and equality, and it's going to not go the right way for women if they're going to be doing these fights and they're actually up against men. Who wants to get in a ring with a man? And if I was that woman UFC fighter, I would not have wanted that match to have gone ahead, that fight to have gone ahead. No way. But who was there to say no?
Precisely.
I'm surprised that so many born females, are actually letting this go ahead, considering for the amount of years that women have said that they're treated wrong. So how is it now okay for a man to go one day, oh, fuck it, I'm a woman, and then go dominate a sport? With, like, if I wanted to get into boxing, why would I get into male boxing when I'll get my ass kicked? I'll just go into female boxing and win.
See, this is the thing. I think we need to set that there needs to be some sort of organization or association that is set up to safeguard and make it fair. Like, you know, I think, Jules, when we were on that episode, you mentioned about having, like, you know, male, female, and the transgender you know, section. So, you know, if somebody wants to do UFC fighting, then that transgender person should have fought another transgender person, not go and say, right, I'm now identifying as female, so I therefore am going to fight a female. It should have been, I'm transgender, I identify as female, and now I'm going into the category that I've put myself in, and I'm identifying, and I'm going up against another transgender person who identifies as female, because then surely that's fair, because that's the same on the same, you know. So then that female fighter should have been in the ring with another female fighter, not a man that is choosing to say and be and feel like a woman. Totally
agree.
It's like racing. So a guy that was at, like, I think he was 200th place or something, he then went into the female, I think it was 100 meters. So he was 200th place in the males, but now he's in the females, he's dominating. Like,
but I think people are scared.
How is that allowed?
I think people are scared to speak up. We've become a certain way in society where we're scared to speak up on the things that really truly are becoming and will be heightened and become even bigger issues if we don't speak up. But it's like people are scared to cause an uproar, because then you will be, you know, straight away
you get arrested.
You it's like, you can't say that because that person, you know, has chosen to be that way. You can't go against it. It's like, no, I'm not going against their choices for themselves. I'm going against the fairness and the equality of their choice that they are now trying to bring into this sport or bring into this sector, whatever it may be. Because then surely who's going to be fighting for the equality of the female that was beaten in that fight? She was beaten by a man who was biologically a man, you know. So to me, that's but that's not fair. So therefore, you know, we're not, I'm not against what anybody chooses to be, what they choose to be, gender, sexuality, what they choose to eat. I'm not against any of that. Like, I choose what I choose, they choose what they choose, but I just don't think it's fair that I would have to sacrifice or lose out on something that I've worked really hard at, based on them deciding to
definitely
when it affects someone else's life, then you got this. I think we should have a war. That's what we should have. That's why there hasn't been a war.
Oh, that escalated quickly.
It's a bit, Michael, guns blazing. We should have a war.
You think World War One, World War Two, when we was against Afghanistan, when we was against all those other things, nobody would have dared to go, oh, you know what? I've got so much time on my hands, I'm a different sex now.
Well, people are, like I said, to this day and age, 2021, we are living in a time when people's minds, the spectrum is huge. We've got people believing the earth is flat. We've got people believing the earth is a globe. We've got people believing that the 9/11 wasn't an inside job. We've got people believing that it was. We have people believing that they are born biologically a man or a woman and don't identify as a man or a woman. And it's that day and age that we live. So we got to have these conversations as to remain, if you will, diplomatic about it, but then also, like Liz said, safeguarding people and their beliefs, and then the people that, you know, like,
it's got to be equal all over. It's got to be equal both ways.
Yeah,
you know.
okay.
It's
which actually brings us on to another episode that we did, and that was on should skin color matter with actors and actresses when playing a role of a person from a historical event. And the reason why we did this episode was because at the time of the episode recording, Channel 5, I believe, were doing
Anne Boleyn, wasn't it?
Henry VIII's wives. One in particular, Anne Boleyn, was being played by an actress called Jodie Turner-Smith, who is a black woman. And obviously Anne Boleyn, his character of history or real person of history, was a white woman. And therefore, you know, is that a problem? Now, the reason why we did the episode is because that might not be seen as a problem. However, what does your brain think when I say we should get a white man playing the role of Martin Luther King in a film?
See, I think at the time when you said this, I remember thinking it wouldn't work because the whole basis of Martin Luther King was a race issue, and was because he was, you know, a black man, you know, and in a time where it was very white superior, and he fought for racial equality. So for me, I remember when you said that on the episode, I was thinking, when I closed my eyes and you said it, I thought it just wouldn't work watching the film, because it just wouldn't work, because but then you have to look at our perception of things. Why wouldn't it? You have to flip side it. Why wouldn't it work? Because I'm watching a screen where there's a white man pretending to be a historical character who was fighting for equality. Why should it matter that the actor is white? If he can portray him and he can do the guy's mannerisms, why does it matter that his skin color is white? So it's a difficult one, because I think personally, again, you think it wouldn't work because of what you know and what you feel and what you've seen a picture of Martin Luther King. But
I'm against it. Personally, I am so against it, because I believe that it is wrong. If I was to be played in the future by anyone, as an actor playing Chris Jules Julian, I would definitely not be happy if they got themselves some Chinese guy. And that's because I'm not flipping Chinese. And it's not saying that, you know, I want them to get as close to me as possible if someone's going to be playing me. So therefore, you know, they got this.
Well, it's not going to work, is it? It's not going to work if they get somebody like how we know you, Jules. It's not going to work if they got somebody who was Chinese to play you, because we're like, hold on, Jules doesn't look like that. Plus, also, that's not Jules's hair. You know, it's like it's all part of you.
This is the point. This is the point I made.
And I think you can get great actors and actresses that could play anything, regardless of race, which I remember saying at the time. However, I do think that's like if you Muhammad Ali, Will Smith played Muhammad Ali. Okay, we couldn't have had Tom Hardy doing that. Come on, we couldn't. No matter what I think, you couldn't. So you wouldn't have looked at the screen and watched the film and be like, yeah, that gosh, yeah, he really does play him well. Yeah, he really does look like him. He's even doing the speech like how he spoke. You just wouldn't be able to.
That's like Tom Hardy. I think he done a film about the Craze twins. That's like getting that's like getting Will Smith and Martin Lawrence to play the Craze twins.
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
They're not even twins. Martin
No.
Lawrence and Will Smith. And secondly, they're
They're
nothing like the
American
craze. Yeah,
as
exactly.
well. They'd
But
have to do
that was an
like-
episode on that. If you want to watch that episode, you should definitely check out that episode and let us know what you think. And be
We've got
honest.
another comment.
Let's go.
So
Love
Paul
these comments,
Halfpenny
by the
again.
way. Love the comments, Paul.
said-
Thank you.
So when we first said it, he said yes, as it's historical. Then he said it's a bit like showing white guys as being slaves. I just watched a film called The Bang Bang Club about photographers taking photographs of the apartheid, what it is. But there used to be white slaves, so it's not really a big stretch. No way, it wouldn't have worked the other way around. Yeah, it wouldn't. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't.
Love the comments, Paul. I really do. I mean, you're right. The end of the day, people are allowing things to happen, and I think it's when the things happen that you get the backlash to make you question. Because sometimes in the headspace you're in, you're just going to do it because you don't see the impact. When they say like the intent and the impact, the intention wasn't to get people pissed off. We weren't doing this as some form of stunt to like, you know, get it going, but it obviously has rallied up a lot of people. So let's ask why. And obviously we just presented it as it was. How does it make you feel? But right, that's the Elite Thinking Club. We explore stuff and I absolutely love it. Getting closer to, you know, a lot of the episodes now. Again, yeah, guys, if you haven't done so already, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to get yourself some Elite Thinking Club merchandise, like the hoodie that Michael's wearing here in the episode, click the link in the description and get yourself some of that. We did an episode on something, again, that came up during the week. And, you know, it really made me, again, I didn't see the impact. I just said what I said because it's what I believed at the time. Then after doing the episode, I kind of calmed down a little bit because I was hearing it from Michael, Liz and Mads, different, you know, viewpoints and perspectives and some of the viewers' comments. But the thing that got me was child obesity. Immediately, I went into it's the parents' fault. I believe that parents should be held accountable for child obesity because the child doesn't know no better. And an adult should, especially a parent, the responsibility, or a carer, you know, it's their responsibility to ensure the child doesn't become obese, because it's not like the information isn't out there. It's not like you don't have access. It's not like you don't get told by your doctor or your school, your child is obese, do something about it. If you're an adult and you make life choices that make you live a certain lifestyle, that's on you. Fine. Do what you want to do with your life. However, when you're responsible for another life, I believe you should be held accountable for it. I think that the child, if they reach a certain age where they are now an adult and they have type 2 diabetes or, you know, are in a serious health condition because of the neglect that they received as a child, I believe they should be legally allowed to sue you.
Yeah, I mean, if you starved a child, like if parents starved a child, they would be prosecuted for it.
It's child abuse.
If they didn't let them go to school and done for it. So, I mean, yeah, if their actions have made it so their child is fat and can't live a good life, then it is on them. Just like if they were too skinny and they can't live a good life because now they're anorexic or this other stuff that you get from being skinny. That should be on them.
Although some eating disorders are, you know, some children do have eating disorders, so it's not like where it is an actual neglect issue.
Yeah,
it's
so you'd have to look into it.
It's a mental, you know, eating disorders are much more psychological as much as they are physical. So, you know, if a child is anorexic, you can't force feed a child, and there's been many parents that have tried to give their kids food that have been anorexic, and you know, so it goes the other way. That there's also kids that eat, and I think I did mention this on the episode, you know, they eat emotionally, so they're emotional eaters. So it's the same as those who purge and who are bulimic, you know, they can put on an act that everything's fine, but actually behind closed doors or when they go into the
so it'd have to be investigated to see.
Yeah, but also there are people that have children that, believe it or not, they have had no idea that you know, their child or teenager has actually been suffering for quite some time, many months or years, with those disorders, because they can hide it very well. You know, they'll wear baggier clothes, you know, that they'll sort of say, yep, put the food in my bag, and then they don't eat it at school. And there's different things, because you're not, it depends as well. It's very easy to say the whole blame thing. Yes, you know, and I get that, because yes, if fed, it's neglect, it's child abuse. However, I think there's I get what you mean. Like, yes, if you are not feeding your kid the right food, and you're not conscious of what they're eating, and you're not, you know, preparing it properly, and you're just allowing them to eat this processed, like sugary, fatty foods, and they're just putting on weight and weight and weight, and you're not really paying attention to it, yes, that is neglect. Yes, that is wrong. And yes, that child should be able to sue their parents. However, I think there's other issues that come into it as well. A lot of other issues, you know.
Exactly. And when you watch the episode, guys, like Mads brought up something so flipping phenomenal. I forget exactly what it was. So yes, everything that Liz just said there is what we kind of summed up. So definitely watch that episode as well. So
another comment before we go on.
Go on, Michael.
Said, OMG, don't get me started on fatism, laugh out loud. I've gone through life having a discrimination against fat people, as I just saw them as lazy. I'm now 62 and have a beer belly, and as try as I must, I struggle to get rid of my belly. So true. And hello, Mads. Shame you're not here. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, that's definitely something that I think most men will grow with age and accept, that your body does react differently as it ages. It's just it's just what we're, you know, the stages, and what do they call it? The rites of passage. You have to have a body that grants you the right to say, I'm a man of age, and therefore I don't need to do that no more. But you know, how it makes you feel is completely up to you, how you react to stuff. And yeah, definitely we're all going to be there one day, Paul, no doubt. Thanks for leading the way and being honest. So let's talk about another episode we did, which I actually get really passionate about. I loved this one. And it was such a great episode because, Michael, you actually pranked us, and I loved it. Like, we all laughed about it in the end. And I think Mads got a little bit upset because she genuinely believed what you said.
I know what one you're going to say. I know what one you're going to say. I know what one you're going to say.
We did an episode on star signs and horoscopes and ghosts. And if you haven't done so already, again, guys, you should watch this episode. You'll love it. It was hilarious when Michael done it because he done it so well. Michael, I applaud. It was brilliant, well executed. Basically, Michael read our current star signs and readings, and we were all in it. We were just so like believing of it. And then he just said, by the way, I just made that up. I jumbled them all together. And it just goes to show some people really believe what they hear. Like, and Mads really.
But then that goes back to what we've talked about on this whole episode, the moon landing, 9/11, like everything. It just shows you. We're like, oh yeah, that must be true because he just read that and that says Aquarius. Oh yeah, it wasn't. It was Scorpio. Oh
mate, it was brilliant. Well executed.
It was good.
Good
Sorry,
stuff.
it was
And
good.
we also then on the same episode talked about ghosts. Now this is difficult because I don't know how to explain it other than unless you've been directly affected by some phenomenal thing that you will either believe in ghosts or angels or extraterrestrials, you know. And I'm glad that we did the episode on that because a lot of people do believe in this sort of stuff. Like, I believe in angels more than ghosts. Some people believe in ghosts as in like past lives or past physical
I believe in
form.
Spirits and
Spirits,
angels.
yeah.
Yeah, I do. Because of energy.
Yeah, Michael doesn't believe in them. Again, you know, it is
nothing at all.
do you believe in a god, Michael? Do you believe in gods or any? You don't no creator. You don't believe in a creator.
No, I believe in a Big Bang.
All right. Okay.
And I mean, I believe that there's somewhere after, but I don't think it's structured by a person or
a religion or
yeah.
Again, yeah. That's the beauty of the ETC. We want to explore because that's what
I'm with you on that, Michael.
You know what I love? There was a time when we would sit around campfires and have these conversations. Obviously, we're just doing it now in the modern times. Maybe this is what we were doing in the past lives, but we just have to do it.
Maybe we should.
Time. Just sit around a campfire.
Let's do a campfire.
Just with cameras about the place.
We could just invite everyone, couldn't we? We could say, right, we're going to be here at this place.
Campfire, yes,
big
yes,
campfires
yes.
on the go.
I'll bring the marshmallows.
Yeah, bring the marshmallows. Bring your kids. We'll just sit around a campfire and just tell stories and just it'd be great, wouldn't it? It'd be awesome.
Yes.
Love it. Right. We've got 5 minutes left. So recently as well on season 2, just before closing.
Hang on. Before you go, more comments.
Okay, let's hear another comment.
Loving the comments
Chris
tonight.
Again. Chris, absolutely not. I'm dating a dance teacher and she's as fit as a butcher's as dog, but she has never dated a fat guy and asked me to get rid of it, but so hard. And he said he's encountered a ghost. I thought women nowadays like that's what I keep seeing on TikTok.
This nowadays, Michael, the spectrum again is so huge. You can like whatever you like, and people have to accept it. One thing that definitely is worth mentioning is that like what you like. No one should make you feel that you are supposed to be a certain way ever. Your life is your life. Speak your truth. What makes you happy and sane and doesn't make you go around killing other people for no reason is how you're supposed to be. If you find yourself in a state of suppression or oppression or depression, then that isn't your true higher self or being. You got to do you. You got to be you. And if the best version of you is the first step is accepting you. And I think that's why it's so important that we have such a spectrum of minds. But as long as we can all be civil, hey.
And wouldn't life be boring, right? If we all just...
If we all look like Jules.
That's not boring. No way.
When we was all fit looking like you, that would be boring. Well, we need some joke.
Fair enough. Yeah, the spectrum's huge, Michael. Yes.
Hey, I'm not that
Right. Let's move on to something that, is really, really awesome right now. And, back to what people's deep-seated conviction beliefs. So we did an entire episode on something that both Liz and I are very passionate about, and we will always be passionate about, and that is veganism and how it is so important, especially now in 2021, more than it's ever been, ever. And if you haven't done so already, you should watch the episode because we drop so much knowledge about it in that episode, and it may just influence you to look into it a little bit more for yourself. Now, just want to say, I wasn't born vegan, okay? And that's the very first baseline I have to, anyone that hears the word and gets a little bit off put by it, you just need to acknowledge that not all vegans were born vegan, and especially we're not pushy. Even I'm not trying to tell you what to do with your life or how you should live your life. It's just something I've found, and I've found to be amazing for my spiritual growth. Beyond the diet, it's phenomenal. And yeah, watch the episode. Let us know what you think, Michael, you was on the episode. Liz, you was on the episode. I don't know if Mads was. I don't think Mads was. Mads missed. I think she missed that one. Yeah, I think she might have missed that one. But
well, we did too, didn't we? Because I think we did one ages ago with Lucas in series 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did. We touched on it in that, when we were talking about animal cruelty and stuff like that. Yeah. So it came up then, and it came up in season 2. So
yeah, definitely worth a watch. And again, okay, I know we've only got 2 minutes left, but another episode that we've done, which actually is really becoming popular right now, especially in young men, is semen retention. And I get passionate about it because it's something that definitely has changed my life. It helped me to establish myself more as a man. Talking about rites of passage earlier in this episode, this is something that we have lost in time. There used to be a time when tribes and civilizations would see young men start to grow into puberty and take them away from the tribe out into the wilderness, teach them how to hunt, how to build, how to fight, how to survive, how to be men. And one of the processes was semen retention. This is a life force that flows through your body. in 2021, let's not pretend we've got to a point now where we are so overly exposed to pornography, sex on TV, and just spewing this life force everywhere that it's become the norm, and it shouldn't be. It really, really shouldn't be. So if you haven't done so already, watch that episode 2 and see as to why it's like such a game changer for men. You know, it's powerful stuff. Remember that episode, guys?
Yeah, you guys have
Yeah,
both
I
done it
remember
as well, haven't you? You guys
Yeah,
have
well-
both done it.
I'm 21 days in at the moment.
That's amazing.
That is amazing, Michael. That is
That
amazing.
is,
Yeah,
you
well-
should give yourself a pat on the back. Is that the longest you've ever done?
No, I was married once. But no, to be fair, I was going hands-on while I was married. So,
Okay.
so yeah, probably the longest I've not choked the chicken as well.
Yeah, I'm not trying to trump you at all, Michael, because I remember when I first started, I was only doing like 3 days here and 3 days there because, you know, no shame, a flipping man that grew up in that era of just exposure. And I was just constantly needing to just ejaculate because I was just so overly exposed. And the first step for me was just weaning off of anything that was turning me on. You just got to stay away from it, because I remember saying to people, and this is how I always explain to people, I can see more sexual activity in 30 minutes on a screen than my granddad did his whole life.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah, that watched the program Banshee. That's the worst program to watch.
oh, right.
Banshee, like literally, the intro is just sex.
Yeah, but just being so exposed to it, even on like
Social media.
social media,
you know,
yeah.
you've got bums and boobs and all sorts.
Yeah, it's
like
very
straight
difficult.
away, the second you click on it.
Yeah, very, very difficult. So anyway, it's about, that's like one of the things in this rites of passage that men need to master in order for us to be the best versions of ourselves. And it's just a great episode. If you haven't done so, check it out and look into it. And then that brought us onto an episode as well in coming to the end of series 2, which was first world relationship problems. And that, you know, Mads loved this one. She actually wanted to do the episode on it. So we did it. And she was talking about Love Island and this high expectations of what men and women should be, how they should
Social
look,
media.
social
Mhm.
media,
Dating
chemistry
apps.
between them, dating apps. Yeah. And we did a whole episode on it. So that was like, yeah, first world relationship problems.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
That was
I
an
mean,
interesting one. I did like that one. And it's so true. I
don't want to gas ourselves up, but I think we've got an amazing podcast right here. I feel like we cover so
we
much.
have. It's kept
We-
us going. It's kept
Yeah,
us going. And I
true.
know, you know, I've had a lot of feedback from people that I know that have listened in, and, you know, and they've said not only is it interesting and sort of wakes your mind up a bit to think about things you might not have thought, look at things differently. It's good opening people's minds, planting seeds, and even just, you know, getting feedback from them and talking to them about their views and seeing things differently, like the comments that we get. You know,
Yeah.
we need those comments because it helps us understand how we are being received, but also it helps us see it from another's point of view and experiences, and that's how we all grow. That's how we all grow.
Exactly that, Liz. Love that. Summarized so well. Thank you, Liz. Michael,
You're welcome.
you what are you trying to do there? It feels like you're trying to.
No,
What's
I'm
that?
just moving my camera.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. I thought you was up to your tricks doing do something funny.
I thought he was
Right.
going to put a costume on again.
I thought he was going to do something. Something Michael would do. Right. I'm going to have to say, guys, if you have anything else you want to add to this episode, because it's reached the hour mark, and always want to try and keep it
I'm
running.
just really excited about season 3, because I think we're just going to go up, and just, yeah, I've just bringing the energy to it, and yeah, just going more
Happy
forward.
days, yeah. Definitely got a few topics of discussion that I would love for you guys to just explore with me. But I'm not going to release obviously what they are. Just going to do it when we do it. So if you haven't done so already, hit the like, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell as well. So you know when we're live, you get that notification that we're live. So you can keep commenting and stay up to date with what we're talking about. So yeah. Michael, do you have anything else you want to add?
Just want to say, we miss you, Mads. Hello.
Yeah,
Wish you was on it.
exactly as well. One of our co-hosts, Mads, she's not here tonight, but we do miss you, girl. And yeah, no doubt you'll be back for season 3 next episode. All right, well, I guess that's
everyone keep your minds open. Always look into everything. Don't just believe what you read online. Look into it. Buy a telescope.
Absolutely.
And if you don't want to buy a telescope, buy our hoodies. There you can see Michael wearing one. So yes. Right, guys, I'm going to close it there. So thank you everyone everywhere for watching. We really, really do appreciate you. So from me and the team, everyone everywhere, peace and love.
Peace and love. Bye.